Welcome dear friends, myself Mukesh Prajapati. Today we will discuss about standard 12 physics chapter number 1, that is the electric charge and the electric field. So first of all, standard 12 physics is basically on a single word, that is electromagnetism. So first we study about electromagnetism, what are the different branches of the electromagnetism. Then we study the first branch of the electromagnetism, that is electrostatics. And that our first chapter is the electric charge and the electric field, right? So in this first chapter we study about what is the electric charge, what are the different types of the electric charge, interaction between the electric charge, electric force between these two charge, electric force between the system of the charge. That all the things we study in this chapter one by one. So this chapter is very interesting, and let's start our first point, that is electromagnetism. So what is the electromagnetism? Electromagnetism is a branch of physics which deals with the electric charge, right? Electromagnetism is a branch of physics which deals with the electric charge. You know what is electric charge, right? Electric charge is a fundamental property of matter. In any matter we can find a electric charge. What are the different types of the electric charge? Also you know that positive charge and the negative charge. The proton has a positively charged particle, electron has a negatively charged particle, and proton and electrons are lies in the atom. An atom is the basic elements of the any matter. So electric charge is a fundamental properties of the matter, and their matter is made up of the molecules, atoms, and atoms where we get the electron, proton, and neutron. That things you know that there are two basically types of the charge, is positive charge and the negative charge. Traditionally, we consider the charge of the proton is a positively charged particle, and the charge of the electron is considered as a negatively charged particle. So the electromagnetism is a branch of the physics which deals with this charge, positive charge particle proton, negative charge particle electron, how they are interact with each other. This branch of the physics is a electromagnetism. So when this charge is stationary, that is a charge is at a rest, right? The branch is called the electrostatics, right? Statics itself word is stationary, right? Stationary, that means a rest. So when the electric charge is a stationary, when the electric charge is at a rest, right, the branch is called the electrostatic. In this branch of the electromagnetism we'll study about properties of the electric charge. Interaction between the electric charge is at a stationary. The electric force exerted between the two electric charge, electric force exerted between the system of the electric charge, electric field due to the system of the electric charge, characteristics of the electric field, that all the things we study in this branch, that is electrostatics. So when the charge is stationary, the branch is a electrostatics, right? So electrostatics is further divided into the electrostatics 1 and electrostatics 2, right? In the electrostatics 2 we study about a electric potential difference between the two point, right? Then device, capacitor, that all the things we study in the electrostatics too, right? But when the charge is moving with the constant speed, you know that flow of charge carries the electric current. Flow of charge constitutes the electric current. So when the charge is moving with the constant speed, it constitutes the electric current, and that this branch is called the current electricity. In the current electricity we study about the electric current, how the electric current is passing through the conductor, basic laws associated with the electric current, that you know, Ohm's law, right? That all the things we study in the current electricity. Further, in the current electricity, we will study about a magnetic effect of the electric current also, that right, magnetic field of the electric current, right, different principles of the magnetic field associated with the electric current, basic law of the electric field and the magnetic field is studied in this current electricity, right. But when the charge is moving with the varying speed, that is called the accelerated charge. If the speed is continuously changing, the motion is called the accelerated motion. So when the charge is in the accelerated motion, it produces the electromagnetic wave. Firstly, electromagnetic wave will produce in the laboratory by a scientist Hertz, right. So these are the three main branch of the electromagnetism. First branch, electromagnetism, is basically deals with the study of the electric charge, right. Then electric charge, when the electric charge is stationary, the branch is called the electrostatics, right. When the charge is moving with the constant speed, the branch is called the current electricity, and the accelerated motion of the electric charge constitute the electromagnetic wave, right. So these are the basically branch of the electromagnetism. The electromagnetic wave is further divided into the different categories, right. So this all the things are a tree of the electromagnetism. So now let's start our first branch, that is the electrostatic. What do you mean by the electrostatic? Right? Earlier I told you electrostatics is a branch of the physics which deals with the stationary charge. So the electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the study of the charge is at a rest. Charge is at a stationary charges. The interaction between the stationary charges we will study in this branch. So first of all, we see about some important fact about a electric charge, some basic about a electric charge that you know, right. What is the electric charge? Electric charge is a fundamental property of the matter like a mass, right. In the gravitational force, you know that mass plays an important role. Same way in the electric force, the charge plays an important role. So electric charge is a fundamental properties of the matter. If you study about an atom, right, atom has a proton, electron and neutron, all the things. Proton has a positively charged particle, electron has a negatively charged particle, and in the atom number of protons and the number of electrons are same. So atom is electrically neutral particles, right. So two types of the charges are there: positive charge particle, negative charge particle. Proton has a positively charged particle, electron has a negatively charged particle. An atom consists of both. Number of protons are there, number of electrons are there, and both having a nullify the charge of each other. So we can consider the atom is electrically neutral particle. Also we know that if we considering a two positively charged particle, two protons are there, right. The force between the two protons are repulsive type, and the force between the one proton and one electron are a attractive type, right. So we can say that, right, the like charges, the force is a repulsive type, and like charges repel each other, whereas the unlike charges attract each other. So how we can establish the charge on any body? Meanwhile, we can consider the any body is a electrically neutral first of all, but how we can establish the charge on the body? So the different types of the method we use to charge our body, that is the charging by friction, charging by contact and the charging by induction. Step by step we will study all the three methods of the charging of a body. So let's start first method used to establish the charge on the body, that is the charging by a friction, and it is called the frictional electricity. What do you mean by the friction? You know that friction એટલે શું તમને ખબર જ છે. What do you mean by the friction? When we rub a two body together, the friction will be produced. કે બે વસ્તુને આપણે કોઈ ઘસવામાં આવે તો એની અંદર શું થાય છે? ફ્રિક્શન પ્રોડ્યુસ થાય છે. તો સિમિલરલી friction electricity is the electricity produced by rubbing a two suitable bodies, right? કે કોઈ પણ બે વસ્તુને એકબીજા સાથે ઘસવામાં આવે અને એનાથી જે ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી પ્રોડ્યુસ થાય એને આપણે શું કહીએ છીએ? ફ્રિક્શનલ ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી કહીએ છીએ. તો હાઉ ધીસ હેપન, રાઈટ? So when we rub our two bodies together, the electrons are transferred from the one body to the another body. કે બે બોડીને આપણે ઘસીશું એટલે શું થશે? કે એક બોડી પરના ઇલેક્ટ્રોન બીજા બોડીની અંદર ટ્રાન્સફર થઈ જશે. So this transfer of the electron from the one body to the another body and the electricity is produced, that is a friction electricity. So let us take one example, right? Consider a glass rod, right, and a silk cloth. So when we rub a glass rod with the silk cloth, the glass rod becomes a positive charge and silk cloth becomes a negatively charged particle. Why this happen? Because in the glass rod the electrons are loosely bounded compared to the silk cloth. So when the glass rods are rubbed with the silk cloth, right, some of the electrons from the glass rod transfer to the silk cloth. So when this glass rod is rubbed with the silk cloth, some of the electrons from the glass rod transfer to the silk cloth. So because of the deficiency of the electron in the glass rod becomes a positively charged particle, and excess number of electrons in the silk cloth becomes a negatively charged, right? જ્યારે આપણે ગ્લાસ રોડને સિલ્ક ક્લોથ સાથે ઘસવામાં આવે ત્યારે શું થાય છે કે ગ્લાસ રોડ પરના અમુક ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કઈ જતા રહેશે? સિલ્ક ક્લોથ પર જતા રહેશે. એટલે કે ગ્લાસ રોડ પર ઇલેક્ટ્રોન ખૂટી પડશે એટલે કે પ્રોટોન શું થઈ જશે? વધી જશે. એટલે કે ગ્લાસ રોડ શું થઈ જશે? પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ બનશે. અને સિલ્ક ક્લોથ પર શું હશે? વધારાના ઇલેક્ટ્રોન બધા કઈ જતા રહેશે? સિલ્ક ક્લોથમાં. એટલે સિલ્ક ક્લોથ પર ઇલેક્ટ્રોનની સંખ્યા શું થઈ જશે? વધી જશે. એટલે કે સિલ્ક ક્લોથ શું થશે? નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ પાર્ટિકલ થશે. સો આના લીધે આપણે શું થઈ છે? ગ્લાસ રોડ પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ બને છે અને સિલ્ક ક્લોથ પર કયો ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થાય છે? નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ. So this is the charging by a friction, charging by rubbing a two bodies. Let's take another example same. When we consider a plastic rod and a woolen cloth, so when the plastic rod rub with the woolen cloth, the plastic rods becomes a negatively charged particle and woolen cloth becomes a positively charged, right? How this happen? So similarly, right, when the plastic rod rub with the woolen cloth, some of the electrons from the woolen cloth transfer to the plastic rod and excess number of electrons in the plastic rod becomes a negatively charged, and deficiency of the electron in the woolen cloth becomes a positively charged particles, right? So here in the example of the plastic rod and the woolen cloth, the electron are transferred from the woolen cloths to the plastic rod, and as a result of this the plastic rod becomes a negatively charged and the woolen cloth becomes a positively charged particle. So with these two examples you can easily understand how the electricity will be produced by rubbing a two suitable body, and that is a friction electricity, right? So when the electron is transferred from the body to the another body, the deficiency of the electron is produced in the body and the body becomes a positively charged. Similarly, when the electron accepted by the body, electron gained by the body, the excess number of the electron makes the body negative, right? So જે વધારાના ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કોઈ બી બોડી પર આવે છે એના કારણે એ બોડી શું થાય છે, નેગેટિવલી ચાર્જ થાય છે. અને જો ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કોઈ બોડી પરથી ઇલેક્ટ્રોનને તમે દૂર કરો તો એ ઇલેક્ટ્રોનની એ બોડીની અંદર શું થાય છે, નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ એટલો શું થઈ જશે, ઓછો થઈ જશે. અને એટલા માટે એ બોડી શું થાય છે, પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ પાર્ટિકલ બને છે. So in this table below, different types of the bodies given to you, right? Glass for silk, cotton, wood, right? Amber, resin, sulfur, rubber, ebonite. So these are the different types of the bodies. Now when we rub these bodies together, some bodies get a positive charge, some bodies becomes a negative charge, right? So if we consider a glass rod and a silk cloth, as we already see previously, when the glass rod rub with the silk cloth, glass rod becomes a positive and silk cloth becomes a negative. Similarly, if we consider a woolen cloth or flannel, right, rub with the umber, ebonite, rubber or plastic rod. So when we rub a woolen cloth with the plastic rod, right, woolen cloth becomes a positive and a plastic rod becomes a negative. Similarly, if we take a ebonite rod and rub with the polythene, ebonite rod becomes a positive charge and the polythene becomes a negative charge, right? So charge is established on both the body and the same amount of the charge is established on the both the body. So lastly, we take a common example, right? If we rub a comb with a dry hair, right? The comb becomes a negative charge body and dry hair becomes a positive charge body. જો આપણે કાંસકાને કોરા વાળ સાથે ઘસવામાં આવે તો કાંસકા પર નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ પ્રોડ્યુસ થશે, એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થશે અને કોરા વાળ પર પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થાય છે. તો આ એક્ટિવિટી તમે ઘરે કરી શકો કે જો તમારા વાળ કોરા હોય અને એ કોરા વાળને તમે કાંસકાને એ કોરા વાળ સાથે ઘસવામાં આવે તો એ કાંસકા પર નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ પ્રોડ્યુસ થશે અને બીકોઝ ઓફ ધીસ નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ, રાઈટ, એના પરથી એક ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી પ્રોડ્યુસ થશે અને એ નેગેટિવ ચાર્જવાળા કાંસકાને આપણે કાગળના નાના ટુકડાની નજીક લઈ જવામાં આવે તો કાગળના ટુકડા એના દ્વારા શું થાય છે, એટ્રેક્ટ થાય છે. સો વેન વી ટેક અ નેગેટિવલી ચાર્જ comb near to the small pieces of paper, the small pieces of the paper is attracted towards the comb, right? So that we can say that the charge is established on the comb. So this way we can establish a charge on a body by a first method, that is a friction electricity, right? When we rub two bodies together, due to the friction the electron are transferred from the one body to the another body and the charge is established on the both the body. So the charge established on both the body are same amount but it is in the opposite in the nature. In the one body the positive charge is established, on the another body negative charge is established, but the amount of the charge established on both the body are same, right? Now we will see the second method to establish the charge on the body. Second method of the charging, that is a charging by induction. First of all, what do you mean by the induction? Induction क्या है? Induction એટલે શું? Induction, that means to induce the charge on the uncharged body. કે જેના પર પહેલાં ચાર્જ કોઈ છે નહીં એના પર આપણે ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ કરવાની જે મેથડ છે એ મેથડને આપણે શું કહીશું? ઇન્ડક્શન કહીશું. So the induction means to induce the charge on a body, right? That is called, the method is called the charging by a induction, right? So charging of any body by a induction method, right? There are two types of the charging by induction method. First method we use using a ground connection. The charging by induction method using a ground connection. So let's start the first method of a charging by induction using a ground connection, right? So previously we study about that when we rub a glass rod with the silk cloth, glass rod becomes a positively charged body, whereas the silk cloth becomes a negatively charged body. Similarly, when we rub a plastic rod with the woolen cloth, plastic rod becomes a negatively charged body, whereas the woolen cloth becomes a positively charged body. Why this happens? Due to the transfer of the electron from the one body to the another body. So for the charging of the induction, we take a negatively charged plastic rod. We can also take a positively charged glass rod, but here we can take a one negatively charged plastic rod for the charging by induction method. So let's see that how we can charge a uncharged metallic sphere using a induction method. So for that, take a one uncharged metallic sphere, right, and place on the insulating rod. So take a one uncharged metallic sphere and place on a insulating rod. Why we place a metallic sphere on the insulating rod? As we establish a charge on the sphere, the charge cannot transfer through the rod, so we place a metallic sphere on an insulating rod. So first step is take a uncharged sphere and place on a insulating rod. આપણે એક સ્પીયર લેવાનો અનચાર્જ જેના પર કોઈ પહેલા કોઈ ચાર્જ છે નહીં. હા, એની અંદર પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ પ્રોટોન છે, નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ ઇલેક્ટ્રોન છે, પણ જેટલા પ્રોટોન છે એટલા શું છે? ઇલેક્ટ્રોન છે. એટલે ટોટલ ચાર્જ ઓન ધ સ્પીયર શું હશે? 0 હશે. એન્ડ પ્લેસ ધીસ સ્પીયર ઓન અ ઇન્સ્યુલેટિંગ rod, right? Then second step is that take a negatively charged plastic rod brought near to the one end of the sphere, right? એક સ્ફિયરના એક બાજુએ આપણે શું કરવાનું છે? નેગેટિવલી ચાર્જ પ્લાસ્ટિક રોડને સ્ફિયરની નજીક લઈ જવાનો છે. What happened? Due to the negative charge sphere, the electron in the sphere experience the repulsive force. Due to the negative charge sphere, the electrons in the sphere experience a repulsive force and move away from the negatively charged rod, right? So negative charge plastic rod ને કારણે શું થશે? જે સ્ફિયરની અંદર જે બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન હતા એ બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કઈ જતા રહેશે? બીજા છેડા પર જતા રહેશે. અને જે નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ પ્લાસ્ટિક રોડ બાજુનો જે છેડો હતો એ છેડા પર શું થશે? ઇલેક્ટ્રોનની ડિફિશિયન્સી પ્રોડ્યુસ થશે, ઇલેક્ટ્રોનની ઉણપ પ્રોડ્યુસ થશે. એન્ડ ડ્યુ ટુ ધીસ ડિફિશિયન્સી ઓફ ધ ઇલેક્ટ્રોન એટ ધ નિયરર એન્ડ, right, the positive charge is established on the sphere, right? તો બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન બધા એક બાજુ જતા રહેશે. એટલે જે બાજુ આપણે નેગેટિવલી ચાર્જ પ્લાસ્ટિક રોડ રાખ્યો હતો એ બાજુ શું થઈ જશે? એક પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ પ્રોડ્યુસ્ડ થશે, right? Now take a one conductor connected to the earth, right? Take a one conductor, that is a conducting wire, connected to the sphere, and the second end of the conductor is connected to the ground. આપણે એક કંડક્ટિંગ વાયર લેવાનો, એક છેડો સ્ફિયરને કનેક્ટ કરવાનો અને બીજો છેડો શું કરવાનો? અર્થને એટલે કે જમીનની અંદર કનેક્ટ કરી દેવાનો. સો ડ્યુ ટુ ધીસ, right, the excess number of the electron at the end, right, are transferred through the conductor to the ground, right? Transfer to the ground. એટલે સ્ફિયર પરના જે બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન હતા એ બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન આ કન્ડક્ટિંગ વાયરને લીધે કઈ જતા રહેશે, બધા ગ્રાઉન્ડ પર જતા રહેશે. એટલે સ્ફિયરની અંદર શું રહી જશે, ખાલી પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ રહી જશે. બરાબર. ઓલ ધ ઇલેક્ટ્રોન્સ on the sphere are transferred to the ground due to the conducting wire left behind the positive charge. Right? બધા જ ઇલેક્ટ્રોન જે સ્ફિયર પરના હતા એ બધા આ કન્ડક્ટિંગ વાયરથી અર્થની અંદર જતા રહેશે અને સ્ફિયર પર કયો ચાર્જ રહી જશે, ખાલી પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ રહી જશે. બરાબર. Now only positive charge is there on the sphere, right? And if we remove the negatively charged plastic rod, right, when we remove the negatively charged plastic rod, the positive charge on the sphere is uniformly distributed, right? એટલે કે પ્લાસ્ટિક રોડને પછી તમે દૂર કરી દો તો જે સ્ફિયર પર પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ હતો that is the nearer to the negatively charged plastic rod, this positive charge is uniformly distributed over a sphere. So that's way we can establish a positive charge on the sphere. So this way we can establish the positive charge on the sphere. Similarly, we can establish we can take another way. We can take a positively charged glass rod. આપણે શું લઈ શકીએ, એની જગ્યાએ નેગેટિવલી ચાર્જ પ્લાસ્ટિક રોડ લીધો હતો, એની જગ્યાએ તમે શું લઈ શકો, પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ પ્લાસ્ટિક ગ્લાસ રોડ પણ તમે લઈ શકો. So when we take a positively charged glass rod, right, the electrons are attracted to the nearer end, right? The electrons are attracted to the nearer end. So if you take a positively charged glass rod, the electrons are attracted towards the nearer end. That means in the opposite side the positive charge is established, right? And when we connected a conducting wire to the nearer end, the electron is transferred to the ground and left behind the positive charge. So we can take a positively charged glass rod as well as the negatively charged plastic rod for this induction method. Now let's see the another method of charging by induction. Right? For that we take a two uncharged metallic sphere, place on an insulating rod, say such a way both the sphere are in a contact with each other. Right? બે મેટાલિક સ્ફિયર લેવાના, એ બંનેને ઇન્સ્યુલેટિંગ સ્ટેન્ડ પર એવી રીતના મૂકો કે જે બંને સ્ફિયર એકબીજાના કોન્ટેક્ટમાં રહે. રાઈટ. So in both the sphere positive charge is there, negative charge is there, right? And both the sphere are in a contact with each other, sphere A and sphere B, right? We considering both. So sphere A and sphere B, right? In both the sphere positive charge is there, negative charge is there, equal amount of the positive and negative charge is there. So you can consider both the sphere is a uncharged sphere, right? Now we take one positively charged glass rod near to the sphere A. Positively charged glass rod near to the sphere A, right? એક પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ ગ્લાસ રોડ લેવાનો અને એને આપણે સ્ફિયર કોઈ બી એક સ્ફિયરની નજીક લઈ જઈએ, સે ધ સ્ફિયર A ની નજીક આપણે રાખ્યો. So all the electrons in both the sphere are attracted towards the positively charged glass rod. એટલે કે બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન જે છે બંને સ્ફિયર પરના બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કઈ બાજુ એટ્રેક્ટ થઈ જશે, પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ ગ્લાસ રોડ બાજુ એટ્રેક્ટ થઈ જશે. રાઈટ. એટલે સ્ફિયર A પર બધો કયો ચાર્જ હશે, નેગેટિવ ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થશે અને સ્ફિયર B પર કયો ચાર્જ એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થશે, પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ બધો એસ્ટાબ્લિશ થશે. રાઈટ. બીકોઝ ઓફ ધ પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ ગ્લાસ રોડ, કે પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ ગ્લાસ રોડ રાખેલો છે એટલા માટે શું થશે, બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન પોઝિટિવલી ચાર્જ ગ્લાસ રોડ બાજુ એટ્રેક્ટ થશે, એટલે કે બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન સ્ફિયર A બાજુ એટ્રેક્ટ થઈ જશે અને બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન સ્ફિયર A બાજુ એટ્રેક્ટ થઈ જશે અને બી સ્ફિયરની અંદર આપણે શું રાખીશું, બધો પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ થઈ જશે. બરાબર. જો તમે સ્ફિયર B બાજુ ગ્લાસ રોડ રાખેલો હોય તો બધા ઇલેક્ટ્રોન કઈ સ્ફિયર B માં એટ્રેક્ટ થઈ જશે. તો આવી સિચ્યુએશનમાં when we separate both the sphere, then in the sphere A, positive charge is in the sphere A, negative charge is established, and in the sphere B, positive charge is established, right? So if we remove the positively charged glass rod and separate both the sphere, the negative charge is uniformly distributed over a sphere A and positive charge is uniformly distributed over a sphere B. So similarly, we can take a same amount of the charge is established on the both the sphere, right? બંને sphere પર equal amount of the charge established થશે. So that is the charging by induction method, second method of charging by. Now we discuss about basic properties of the electric charge. Previously we were discussed about what is the electric charge. Electric charge is a fundamental properties of the matter. What are the different types of the charges? There are two types of the charges, positive charge and the negative charge. The proton has a positively charged particle while the electron has a negatively charged particle. Then after we will discuss about how we can establish the charge on a body. For different method for establishing a charge on the body, that are frictional electricity. By rubbing two bodies together, the electron are transferred from the one body to the another body and the electric charge is established on the both the body. Second method is charging by induction, right? We can charge any metallic sphere using the charging by induction method. Then we can establish the charge on a contact with the other charged body. When we contact two different types of the sphere, one is charged sphere, another is a uncharged sphere, the charge is transferred from the one sphere to the another sphere, right? So now we discuss about what are the some basic properties of the electric charge. So first properties of the electric charge is the additive nature of the charge, right? Additive nature, addition of the electric charge is a possible. Electric charge is a scalar quantity, right? Then so that we can add the electric charge together, right? The total electric charge on the system is a algebraic sum of the all the electric charge distributed on it. The total electric charge on the system is a addition of all the electric charge distributed on it, right? That is the additive nature of the electric charge, or we can say that the additive properties of the electric charge. Suppose we consider a system that has a charge q1, q2, q3 up to qn. So consider this system which has a charge q1, q2, q3, q4. So total charge on the system is addition of all the electric charge. Now suppose we consider that q1 is equal to plus 2 coulomb charge, q2 is equal to plus 5 coulomb charge and q3 is equal to minus 3 coulomb charge are in a system, right? So the total charge on the system is addition of all the charge. Here we can say that the algebraic sum of all the charge. So we take a positive charge as a positive and the negative charge is a negative. So we consider that here the plus total charge on the system is a plus 2 coulomb, plus 5 coulomb and minus 3 coulomb. So we can say that the total charge on the system is a plus 4 coulomb. That is the algebraic sum, right? Positive charge we consider as a plus and the negative charge we consider as a minus. So the additive properties of the electric charge is that the total electric charge on the system is the algebraic sum of all the electric charge on it. Now the second properties of the electric charge is a conservation of the electric charge. So what do you mean by the conservation of the electric charge? To conserve, that means a constant. The electric charge remains constant. Where the electric charge remains constant, in an isolated system, the total charge is always conserved. That means a total charge is always constant. So in an isolated system, the total charge is always constant. So what do you mean by the isolated system? Isolated system is a system in which the charge neither be enter on the in the system nor be exist from the system, and this system is said to be a isolated system. And in this isolated system, the net electric charge is always constant. So the charge neither be created nor be destroyed on the system. It can only transfer from the one body to the another body. So the total charge on the system of a body remains constant. Right? So suppose we considering a one example like this. Consider a glass rod and rub with the silk cloth. Previously, on both the glass rod and the silk cloth, the charge is a neutral. The total charge on the system of the glass rod plus silk cloth is a 0. Right? There is no charge on a glass rod as well as the no charge on a silk cloth. So when we rub a glass rod with the silk cloth, the charge is established on the both the body. The glass rod becomes a positively charged body and silk cloth becomes a negatively charged body. So both the charge, positive charge on the glass rod as well as the negative charge on the silk cloth, both the charge are in a equal in amount. Right? Suppose we consider the charge on the glass rod becomes a plus q charge is established on the glass rod. So same amount of the charge is established on the silk cloth minus q charge. So we can say that the total charge on the system of the glass rod becomes 0 as previously 0. Previously the charge on the system of a glass rod plus silk cloth is 0. So by rubbing the glass rod with the silk cloth together, the total charge after rubbing is a 0. So we can say that the charge is conserved. Charge neither be created nor be destroyed. It can transfer from the one body to the another body. In this situation, the electron are transferred from the glass rod to the silk cloth. So silk cloth becomes a negatively charged body, whereas the deficiency produced in the glass rod becomes a positively charged body. Now, third property of the electric charge, that is the quantization of the electric charge. What do you mean by the quantization of electric charge? First we will see that the electric charge on the body is always integer multiple of the fundamental charge. That is the charge of the electron. The electric charge on the body is always integer multiple of the fundamental charge. That is the charge of the electron. Right? This statement is known as the quantization of the electric charge. Charge available in the nature is always integer multiple of the fundamental charge, and this fundamental charge is a charge of a electron. Now suppose we consider a one sphere like this. If you see here, suppose we consider a one sphere, right? And from this sphere, if we escape one electron, right, like this, આપણે એક sphere માંથી એક electron ને remove કરી દઈએ. So what one deficiency produced in the sphere of a one electron, and due to this the positive charge is established on the sphere. So what amount of the positive charge is established on the sphere? It is equal to the plus 1 e plus electron. Right? So total charge of the system is 0 and the positive charge is established on the sphere by escaping the electron from the one electron from the sphere. Right? If we remove the one electron from the sphere, plus e charge is established on the sphere. Similarly, if we remove a 2 electron from the sphere, consider a sphere, and if we remove a 2 electron from the sphere, plus 2e charge is established on the sphere. So the charge on the body is always integer multiple of a e. E, that is a charge of a electron. So same way, if we remove a n electrons from the body, the charge established on the body is a n into e. So suppose we remove a n electron from the body, the total charge on the body is a q is equal to n into e. Right? If the electron is removed from the body, the charge on the body is a plus, and if the electron is accepted by the body, the charge on the body is a minus. But the total charge is an integer multiple of the fundamental charge, that is a charge of the electron. And the charge of the electron E is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. Coulomb is the unit of the electron, right? So what is the quantization of the electric charge? The quantization of the electric charge is a integer multiple of the fundamental charge. The total charge on the system is an integer multiple of the fundamental charge. Similarly, we can calculate the number of electrons on the 1 coulomb charge. You can obviously calculate at your home. Now we study about the units of the electric charge. The common unit of the electric charge, you know, that is a coulomb, by the name of the scientist Charles Coulomb, right? SI system, the unit of the electric charge is coulomb. So what is the 1 coulomb electric charge? So when we place a two equal and similar stationary charge at a distance of a 1 meter, if the repulsive force between them is a 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton, we can say that the charge on them is a 1 coulomb charge. So 1 coulomb is a charge when we place a two equal and similar stationary charge in a vacuum at a distance of the 1 meter, and the repulsive force between them is a 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton. The charge on them we consider as a 1 coulomb charge. 1 coulomb charge is a very larger unit of the electric charge. Smaller unit of the electric charge, you know, that is a millicoulomb. 1 millicoulomb is a 10 raised to minus 3 coulomb. Microcoulomb, 1 microcoulomb is a 10 raised to minus 6. 1 picocoulomb, that is a 10 raised to minus 12 coulomb. So these smaller units of the electric charge, you know, that millicoulomb, microcoulomb, nanocoulomb, picocoulomb, that all the smaller units, you know that. But in the CGS system, what is the unit of the electric charge? In the CGS system, what is the unit of the electric charge? In the CGS system, the unit of the electric charge is a state coulomb, or we can say that the electrostatic unit charge, right? Electrostatic unit of charge is a state coulomb. So what is the 1 state coulomb electric charge? So suppose similarly, if we consider a two same charge, two equal and the similar charge at a stationary at a distance of the 1 centimeter apart. Distance between these two same charge is a 1 centimeter, and if the repulsive force between them is a 1 dyne, we can state that the charge on them is a 1 state coulomb, right? બે equal charge 1 સેન્ટીમીટર ડિસ્ટન્સે રાખેલા, બે પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ હોય તો પોઝિટિવ ચાર્જ, બે પ્રોટોન હોય તો પ્રોટોન, રાઈટ? બંનેઓને 1 સેન્ટીમીટર ડિસ્ટન્સે રાખો, અને જો એ બે વચ્ચે એક ડાયન જેટલો રિપલ્સિવ ફોર્સ હોય તો એ બંને ઉપર આપણે ચાર્જ કહીએ 1 સ્ટેટ કુલમ ચાર્જ છે એમ કહેવામાં આવે છે, બરાબર? Another unit of the electric CGS unit of the electric charge is a state coulomb, and 1 coulomb of the charge is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 9 state coulomb. 1 coulomb is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 9 state coulomb. So similarly, we can calculate the 1 state coulomb or 1 ESU. It is equal to 1 divided by 3 into 10 raised to 9 coulomb, right? 1 state coulomb, it is equal to 1 divided by 3 into 10 raised to 9 coulomb, right? So this way we can calculate the smaller unit of the electric charge. So one larger unit of the electric charge is also that a Faraday. 1 Faraday is equal to 96,500 coulomb. Not written in the slide, but 1 Faraday is equal to 96,500 coulomb. Faraday is a larger unit of the electric charge. So this way, these are the different units of the electric charge, right? but normally the electric charge is measured in a coulomb, millicoulomb, microcoulomb, picocoulomb we use in the physics, right? So dear students, now we will see about some examples regarding this topic, electric charge and the properties of the electric charge. So first we start with the example number 1.2 of a textbook. Right? Example number 1.2. If there are 10 raised to 9 electrons move out of a body to the another body every second, right? How much time is required to get a total charge of a 1 coulomb on the another body? So here 10 raised to 9 electrons are removed from the body, transferred from the one body to the another body. The charge is established on the both the body. So what time it will take to get a charge of a 1 coulomb on the body? So let us solve it. Number of electrons move out of a body every second is a 10 raised to 9, right? Due to this, the charge established on the body is calculated by the equation of a quantization of the charge. The equation of quantization of the charge is a Q is equal to Ne. If there are n number of electrons are come out from the body, the total charge on the body is a n into E, where n is a number of electrons, that is a 10 raised to 9, and E is a charge on the electron, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 90 coulomb. So the charge established on the other body in a 1 second is a 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb, right? So now what time it will take to establish a charge of a 1 coulomb? So in a 1 second, the charge established on the body is a 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb. So what time it will take to require a charge of a charge on a body is a 1 coulomb? So T is equal to capital Q divided by Q. Capital Q here we consider as a 1 coulomb. So we place instead of Q1, and small q, what the charge established on the body in a 1 second, 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 10, right? If we calculate, we get a answer 0.625 into 10 raised to 10, that is a 6.25 into 10 raised to 9 minus 10 raised to 9 second. So this second we can convert into the year also. It is a approximately 200 years, 198 years is the answer. How we convert the second into the hours, years, right? It is approximately 198 years, right? So this example we also calculated by another way like this, right? The number of electrons come out from the body is a 10 raised to 9 electrons. The charge on the charge of one electron is a 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 coulomb. So time taken to get a total charge of a 1 coulomb is capital Q is given as a 1 coulomb, right? So by placing a directly value on the equation, T is equal to total charge established on the body divided by N into E, the number of electrons and the charge of a 1 electron. So we get a answer, same answer, 6.25 into 10 raised to 9 second. If we convert this into the year, 1 year is equal to 3.15 into 10 raised to 7 second. So this second if we convert it into the year, right, it will be a 190, it will be a 198 years. So if we dividing this number by a 3.15 into 10 raised to 7, because 1 year is equal to 3.15 into 10 raised to 7 second, we get converted this second into the year, and it is equal to approximately 198 years are required to establish the charge of a 1 coulomb. So you can consider that, we can think about the 1 coulomb charge is a very large amount of the charge. So understand this example, how we can calculate this example. Next example we will see how much positive and negative charge in there a cup of a water. Right? How much positive and negative charge is there in a cup of a water. Neglect this line, by mistake it will printed on this. Right? So if we want to calculate the charge on a cup of water, right? So what amount of the water in a cup, right? We first calculate. So suppose we consider that let us assume that in a cup 250 gram of a water is there. So we require to weight, right? So let us assume that in a cup there are 250 gram waters are there. So firstly we calculate the number of molecules in a cup of water. How we calculate the number of molecules? Capital N is equal to M divided by MO multiplied by Na, where M is the mass of the water, that we take a 250 gram. MO, that is a molecular mass of the water. What is the molecular mass of the water? You know, it is a 18, and Na is the Avogadro number, that is a 6.023 into 10 raised to 23, right? So this way we can calculate the total number of molecules in a cup of water, and in a water molecules number of protons and the number of electrons, right, are same. In each molecule there are 10 protons are there and there are 10 electrons are there, right? So the molecular formula of water, you know, H2O, right? As hydrogen, that has a 2 proton and 2 electron, oxygen that has a 8 proton and 8 electron, right? So the total number of proton and electron in a water molecules, one water molecules, is a 10. So the total number of protons and electrons in a cup of water is 10 multiplied by total number of molecules in a water. So the charge on the proton, right, is a positive, and the charge of the electron is negative. Same amount of the charge is established on the both. So 10 multiplied by total number of molecules in a cup of water, right? We can get a total number of proton in a cup, right? So now we know that the one proton has a charge is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, or we can say that the one electron has a charge 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19. So here the number of protons we have, right? We have the number of protons like this, the total positive charge, or we can say that the total negative charge on the body, both are same, right? In a cup of water, the number of positive charge, number of protons and the number of electrons are same. So the total positive charge and the total negative charge are same, and it will be calculated as Q is equal to Ne, where N is the number of proton or a number of electron, and E is the charge on the proton. So if we place a value, we can calculate here also. From this also we calculate this value, then put this value in this equation and calculate the number of proton. Then we place a number of proton in this, 10 into 250 divided by 18 multiplied by 6.023 into 10 raised to 23 multiplied by charge of an electron 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 90. So if we calculate this, we get our answer, that is a 1.34 into 10 raised to 7 coulomb. So the total amount of the positive charge on the cup of water, say the mass of the water we consider as a 250 gram, Instead of this 250 gram, any amount is given to you. So we can easily calculate by this method the total number of positive charge as well as the total number of negative charge on a cup of water. Now we will see last example of today's topic is exercise 1.11. When a polythene piece is rubbed with the woolen cloth is found to have a negative charge of a 3 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. Right? Estimate the number of electron transfer from which to which. How many electrons are transferred from which to the which, right? And second one, is there any transfer of mass from the wool to the polythene, right? We need to calculate. So first of all, the total charge established on the 8 is a 3 into 10 raised to minus 7. But before that, we know that when the polythene is rubbed with the woolen cloth, right, the polythene piece is rubbed with the wool, the number of electron transfer from the wool to the polythene. Hence the wool becomes a positive charge and the polythene becomes a negative charge. So from that we can say that the electron is transferred from the wool to the polythene. That is the answer of this question. From which to which? The electron is transferred from wool to the polythene, right? So the wool becomes a positive charge and the polythene becomes a negative charge, right? So how we can calculate the number of electrons transferred from the one body to the another body? Here the total charge is given to you, that is a 3 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb. That is a capital Q, total charge is given to you. So according to the quantization of the charge, we have a formula, right? Q is equal to Ne. The amount of charge on the polythene is given to you, 3 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, and according to the quantization of the charge Q is equal to Ne, we can calculate the number of electrons. N is equal to Q by E. Q given 3 into 10 raised to minus 7, E that is a charge of the electron 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, and by calculating this value we get the number of electron is a 1.87 into 10 raised to 12 electron, right? So this amount of the electron is transferred from wool to the polythene, right? So final answer is that the number of electron 1.87 into 10 raised to 12 electron are transferred from the wool to the polythene. So next, there is a transfer of mass from wool to polythene. The electron has some amount of the mass. What is the mass of the electron? You know, the mass of the electron is 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. So as the electron is transferred from the wool to polythene, the mass also transfer from the wool to polythene. So the mass is also transferred from the wool to polythene. As the electron has some amount of the mass also transfer from the wool to polythene. What amount of the mass is transferred from the wool to polythene? We calculate like this: M is equal to N into Me, where M is the number of electron transfer from wool to polythene, that is a 1.87 into 10 raised to 12, and Me is the mass of the electron, 9.1 into 10 raised to minus 31 kg. By calculating this, we get an answer. The total amount of the mass transfer from the wool to polythene is a 1.706 into 10 raised to minus 18 kg. So as the electron is transferred from the wool to polythene, right, the mass also transfer from the wool to polythene, and the transfer of mass from wool to polythene is a 1.706 into 10 raised to minus 18 kg, and this amount of the mass is a very negligible. So we cannot get an idea about this transfer of mass, right? So dear student, this is our first topic of the chapter number 1 is completed. I hope you understand all the points covered in this video.